What if I told you there's a hidden world inside you, a bustling city of trillions of organisms that has a say in everything from your mood to your immune system? Well, today we're going to break down the science of your gut microbiome using a guide from one of the world's top experts, Stanford's Dr. Justin Sonnenberg, to give you a real science-backed plan for a healthier gut.
So let's just start with a number that is, well, it's pretty much impossible to wrap your head around. Trillions. That's how many microbial cells are living in and on your body at this very moment. This community is so massive that scientists are now thinking of it as a whole new organ we're just starting to explore.
And if you want a really visceral way to understand just how packed this internal world is, Dr. Sonnenberg points to a pretty startling fact. 30 to 50% of what you flush down the toilet isn't leftover food. It's the microbes themselves. It is an incredibly dense living world in there.
Okay, so what is this thing? This buzzing, microscopic city inside of us? Let's get into it.
The best way to think about it is like a rainforest, teeming with life. That's your microbiome. It's this whole community of bacteria, fungi, even viruses, all interacting in this super complex web. And the vast, vast majority of them call your gut home, where they play a huge role in, well, pretty much everything.
You know, your microbiome is as unique as your fingerprint, and it all starts the second you're born. Like, were you a C-section or a vaginal birth? Breastfed or formula-fed? Did you have a dog running around the house? Take a bunch of antibiotics as a kid? Every single one of those things helped build your specific microbial identity for life.
But here's the thing, and this is where Dr. Sonnenberg's research gets really critical. Our modern industrialized lifestyle, it's basically waging a silent war on this vital ecosystem inside of us. And you can see this so clearly when scientists put the gut microbiomes of people in, say, the US or Europe, side by side with traditional hunter-gatherer populations. The difference is just, wow. It's stark. Ours are way less diverse, which makes us prone to all sorts of inflammation. Dr. Sonnenberg doesn't mince words. He says they are actively deteriorating. Okay, so you might be thinking, why can't I just eat a salad for a week and fix it? Well, here's the catch. Your microbiome exists in what scientists call a stable state. It's kind of like it has its own gravity or memory that just keeps pulling it back to its usual setting, even if that setting is not great for you. It's incredibly stubborn. And this is where it gets a little scary. A really concerning experiment from the Sonnenberg lab shows just how permanent this damage could be. They put mice on a low-fiber, kind of Western diet for 4 generations, and by the end, they'd lost over 70% of their original microbial species. But here's the real kicker. Even when they put them back on a super healthy, high-fiber diet, those species didn't come back. They were just gone, extinct.
So that really brings us to the million-dollar question, right? If our gut microbiomes are depleted, if they're stuck in this unhealthy state, and if we're maybe losing these microbes for good, what on earth can we do about it? How do we fight back?
Well, thankfully, a huge landmark study from Dr. Sonnenberg's lab points us toward a really powerful and maybe even a little surprising answer.
So what they did was pretty clever. They set up a kind of dietary showdown, high fiber versus fermented foods. They put one group on a classic high-fiber diet and the other group on a diet packed with fermented foods. They wanted to see what actually works for our modern beat-up guts.
And the results were, honestly, they were stunning. The high-fiber group, they didn't really see any significant change in their microbial diversity. But the fermented food group, boom, a significant increase. But this next part might be even more important. It wasn't just about diversity. The fermented food crew saw a major drop across 19 different markers of inflammation in their bodies. That's huge. And the fiber group? Again, not much happened.
So what's going on here? Why didn't the fiber, which we're always told is so good for us, work like we thought it would? Well, the main idea is that our modern guts are they're too depleted. We might not even have the right microbes left to break down all that healthy fiber. It's kind of like showing up to a construction site with a huge pile of lumber, but none of the carpenters have shown up for work.
Okay, so all this research gives us a really clear, practical game plan. Here's what you can actually do starting today to improve your gut health based on the science.
All right, here's the 3-step plan. Step 1, and this is the big one, add in fermented foods. We're talking foods that actively introduce new, good microbes into your gut. The people in the study who got the best results were eating about 6 servings a day. Step 2, Be ruthless about cutting out processed foods. A lot of them have stuff like emulsifiers that can damage your gut lining or artificial sweeteners that mess with your microbes. And step 3, don't give up on fiber, but be smart about it. Get it from a huge variety of different plants. Think of it less like feeding one single pet and more like tending to an entire garden.
And to make that first step super easy, here are some of the heavy hitters from the study. You've got your unsweetened yogurt and kefir, things like sauerkraut and kimchi, and drinks like kombucha. One quick tip though, make sure you're buying brands that say live, active cultures, and really watch out for added sugar, because that can just feed the bad guys.
Okay, a really quick but super important note on probiotic pills. Dr. Sonnenberg says we need to be careful here. The whole supplement industry is, well, it's a bit of a wild west. It's not regulated like medicine, so what's on the label might not be what's in the bottle. So the best advice is to be a smart shopper. Look for brands that have been checked by a third party, like the NSF or USP. Or, even better, try to find an actual scientific study that backs up a specific probiotic for whatever health goal you have.
So when you boil it all down, this research really asks us to change how we even think about food. The next time you sit down to eat, the question isn't just, what am I eating? The real question is, who am I feeding? Are you nourishing the trillions of allies inside you, or are you starving them?